911 Benghazi. Of military commanders, it's usually a rare breed that breaks the orders from somebody up above. But this one general should be really commended and recognized for what he has done, because he has ignored the stand-down orders that of telling people not to protect the Americans in Benghazi during the attack on 9/11/2012. That's General Carter Hamm of the U.S. Army. I want to comment a little bit on this because it's maybe, I don't know how well known it is. Maybe it's not that well known. I don't know how much I'm going to get out there about this. But I'm going to comment a little bit on some of the conspiracies of the numerology, too, and the date. Because in some instances, it's true. Most instances, it's not true. A lot of times, it's giddy rumors scaring the crap out of people. But even if you know that a date was set aside for a specific incident, it's not a whole hell of a lot you could do about it, unless you have balls like this general has, where he has actually said, you know, he was out, he activated the Special Forces teams. And I'll just give you a quote, and I'll provide the link where it is. It's AFRICOM Commanding Officer U.S. General Carter Hamm, after being ordered to essentially surrender control of the situation to alleged al-Qaeda terrorists and let Americans on the ground die, made the his own unilateral decision to ignore orders from Secretary of Defense and activated special operation teams at his disposal for immediate deployment to the area. End result, he was arrested for this. Now, this comes from the Army, and I would like to see the Marine Corps top this. I mean, the Marine Corps is supposed to be number one, right? So how about some Marine Corps brass telling the people on the top to go fuck off sometimes, because I'm telling you, you know, it's about protecting our own. It's not about, you know, obeying orders just because some politics, or not just because of politics, but maybe some other things that are going on. And, you know, it doesn't take nothing to convince me that a lot of people that are in control of Muslim nations in the Middle East are bad and maybe need to be removed from power. So I don't know why they go through all these crazy lengths sometimes. Because this Benghazi attack, the one that occurred against Christopher Stevens, I think it was allowed to happen. And, you know, 9/11 actually has been an important date. I don't want to get too conspiratorial with this, but I think there's something legit about this all the way. You know, this may be coincidental with these two dates. 9/11/1941, Pentagon construction starts. 9/11, 1972, 11 Israeli athletes were killed by Munich games and terrorist attacks. I don't know, could be something to it, but this, you know, looking at 9/11, 1990, that was a George Bush speech, George Herbert Walker, president, speech about the New World Order. That occurred on 9/11. And of course, 9/11/2001 was the Twin Towers, the attack on the Twin Towers and the Pentagon. 9/11/2012 was when the attack started on the Libyan embassy, and Christopher Story died in the wee hours of the morning on 9/12/2012. Not that I believe in this garbage. I don't follow anything to do with numerology. And I know there's a lot of people on the internet that delve into this way too deep. Way too deep. I mean, they worry about 11/11/11. I don't know, maybe we're going to have another, I mean, there's an 11th day of the month every freaking month for one damn thing. And 2011 lasted for a whole year. And, you know, you can add up numbers all kinds of crazy ways. But there might be something to this, because there was an 11-year period between 1990 to 2001, from the George Bush speech to the attack on the Twin Towers, and 11 years to Benghazi. Now, this whole thing with Christopher Stevens being killed, the ambassador to Libya, that to me was, you know, to bring about an impetus and for war in the Middle East against people. I don't know exactly who the enemy would be, but it was contrived. I think it was a contrived incident. I'm not saying it's lightly either. It's quite obvious right on his face of it too. And something else I picked up, they had that 9/9/2012 countdown clock, which occurred at the same time the movie The Prophet Muhammad was released. And that movie came about, actually it was originally put out as The Desert Warrior. It didn't even say any lines in it about Muhammad or Islam or anything. All the actors were uttering different lines. It was dubbed in later with all the lines that were offensive to Muhammad, Muslims and Islam and all that later on. And then it was specifically translated into Arabic and released. So they're deliberately trying to piss these people off for sure. That's no doubt about it. And this occurred, this 9/11/2001 was a Tuesday, 9/11/2012 was a Tuesday. Now, I don't think I'm reading too much into this because I don't like when people read too much into this, but the name Tuesday is based upon the Latin Dies Martes, Day of Mars, the Roman god of war. But it's not something I believe in. It's not something I think people should delve into much and get into too much or anything, or try to read into this too much. But I think there are important, powerful people who are movers on the earth that actually move events that believe in this garbage. So it's some other indication to say that the event that occurred where Christopher Story was killed by Muslim extremists or Islamic extremists was all allowed to happen and planned with other elements in the West. And there's people high up in our own government that were telling people that could have protected our people over there, the Special Forces troops and the ambassador from these elements. They told them to stand down. So, and the one guy that didn't stand down was his General Hamm. So, he's a hero. He got arrested for it or something. So something happened with this. I just want to put this story out here because I guess there are some generals out there. I haven't seen too many, to tell you the truth. From my impression, most of them won't. It's rare that somebody will buck the system. But I'm glad somebody did. Because, what I would like to see is the Marine Corps do this, too. I mean, if the Army can do it, I don't know why the Marine Corps can't do it. Buck the system. It's not called best disobeying orders. It's called protecting your own. Protecting your own. And that's what the number one job is, to protect your own. You protect each other. You watch each other's backs. So anybody in a position of leadership in the military, that should be their number one concern. Number one concern. And also protecting the Bill of Rights. So this guy's a hero in my book all the way. I just want to put his name out there. So the story here, I'll link it to the bottom. It's rogue U.S. general arrested for activating Special Forces teams. Ignored the Libyan Stand-Down Order. So this is a hot story. But you remember the September 11, 2012 date. That's something significant. It actually is in this case. I think it is. I don't take, I think these freaking numbers are a bunch of BS. I'm not into them. But I think some people are into them. And I don't think people should be freaking out about every 11th day of the month that comes up or whatever the hell it is. But this was probably planned. 11 years after 9/11/2001, also on a Tuesday, same date. And this garbage means something to them. It doesn't mean nothing to me. But, there might be something on December 21st, 2012, 101 days. From 9/11/2012, so that's another thing. You can see how this adds up to 11. I don't know what the hell's going to happen. I'll guarantee the sun comes up and the moon does not fall down. I'll guarantee you that. Whatever's going to happen, it's going to be man-made. It's not going to come from the cosmos or from God or anything like that. It's going to be man-made. But I think it's good to be have a wary eye out for these scamming piece of shits into these numerology. So I'm going to put it this way. I don't believe in numerology. I don't believe in every stupid conspiracy theory out there. But there's some people that do believe in numerology, and I think they're people that control a lot of important events, and they're very powerful people, and they're trying to push the public into a certain way. And this guy is a total hero. This guy, General Hamm. So I think it's great because if you're like one of the troops under this guy, you got a good feeling because no matter what happens, he gives a shit. He gives a shit. And that's the right kind of people to have as leaders. So, it's the most damn important thing going because whether they make a decision wrong or right, nobody's infallible. So the most important thing is, they give a shit. This guy sacrificed his career to protect his own. Let's hope the Marine Corps does that too, because I'll put the challenge out to them. Marine Corps always brags they're better than the Army. So I'd like to see an American Marine general stick his neck out to protect his own if the opportunity ever comes up. Because I'm getting totally sick of this garbage too, to tell you the truth. Because, you don't need to tell me that the leadership in Iran is screwed up and needs to be taken out. And you definitely don't need to sacrifice American troops or sailors or Marines or airmen to get the American public all mad at some Islamic radicals that you made up and allowed to do. Just give the damn order. They'll be taken care of. I'm not in now, but that was my attitude. You don't need to be faking it. You don't need to feed us bullshit. Because what this general did was right. I like this. This was good. He's a damn good guy, that's for sure. Most of them won't do it. Most of them won't. That's the sad fact. He's a rare breed. So I'd like to see some others following his lead. Because he took the lead, and he took the hit, too, didn't he? He wrecked his career doing this, protecting his own.